Welcome to Cosmic Whispers, where cosmic mysteries come alive. Your journey beyond the stars begins now. In the vast emptiness of space, where Earth appears as a pale blue dot against the cosmic darkness, humanity faces one of its most fundamental challenges: how to sustain life beyond our planet's protective embrace. As astronauts aboard the International Space Station orbit Earth, every 90 minutes at 17,500 miles per hour, they carry with them not just the hopes of exploration, but the seeds of survival itself. The quest to grow plants in space represents far more than a scientific curiosity. It embodies humanity's deepest instinct for self-preservation and expansion. When we consider missions to Mars lasting 2.5 years, or permanent lunar bases, the ability to produce fresh food becomes not just beneficial, but absolutely critical. Current space missions rely entirely on pre-packaged meals and resupply. Missions from Earth, a logistics chain that becomes impossibly complex and expensive for deep space exploration. Every great journey starts with a few brave explorers. Right now, Cosmic Whispers is just beginning, and your support means everything. If you enjoy unraveling the mysteries of the universe, hit subscribe. It's free, and it helps us grow this community together. Plants evolved over billions of years in Earth's gravitational field, developing intricate systems that depend entirely on the constant downward pull we take for granted. In the microgravity environment of space, these fundamental biological processes face unprecedented disruption. Without gravity's guiding force, plant roots lose their directional cues, growing in chaotic patterns rather than anchoring themselves and seeking nutrients. Water behavior transforms completely, forming spherical droplets that can flood plant roots or fail to reach them entirely. The earliest attempts at space agriculture began during the 1970s with Soviet experiments aboard Salyut stations. These pioneering efforts revealed the magnitude of the challenge ahead. Seeds would germinate, but seedlings grew in twisted, unpredictable directions. Roots wound around themselves in tight spirals, unable to establish proper nutrient uptake systems. Many plants simply died from cellular stress caused by the absence of gravitational loading that their cells had evolved to expect. NASA's first serious spaceplant experiments began in 1982 aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia. Scientists observed that plants could survive in microgravity, but their growth patterns were fundamentally altered. Without gravity to guide their development, plants allocated energy inefficiently, producing weaker cell walls and altered biochemical compositions. These early experiments established that while life could persist in space, thriving required entirely new approaches to cultivation. Modern space stations now host sophisticated plant growth facilities that attempt to replicate Earth conditions while accommodating the unique constraints of orbital environments. The vegetable production system, known as Veggie aboard the ISS, represents decades of engineering refinement. This system provides controlled lighting, temperature regulation, and water delivery systems designed specifically for microgravity conditions. The psychological dimension of space gardening extends far beyond mere nutrition. Astronauts report profound emotional connections to their plant experiments, describing the sight of green growth as a powerful reminder of home and life itself. The act of tending plants provides a therapeutic break from the technical demands of space operations, connecting crew members to Earth's biosphere across the vast distances of space. Understanding how plants adapt to space environments reveals fundamental principles about life itself. These experiments probe the deepest mechanisms of biological adaptation, showing us which aspects of terrestrial life are truly universal and which are merely products of our planet's specific conditions. As humanity prepares for its next great leap into the cosmos, the humble space garden may hold the key to our survival among the stars. The absence of gravity fundamentally disrupts every aspect of plant biology, creating a cascade of effects that challenge millions of years of evolutionary adaptation. On Earth, gravity serves as plants' primary directional reference, guiding root growth downward through gravitropism and shoot growth upward through negative gravitropism. This gravitational compass becomes completely scrambled in the weightless environment of space, leaving plants to navigate by alternative cues that often prove inadequate or contradictory. Gravitropism relies on specialized cells called statocytes, which contain dense particles called statoliths that settle at the bottom of cells under Earth's gravity. These cellular sensors detect gravitational direction and trigger hormone cascades that guide growth orientation. In microgravity, statoliths float freely within their cells, unable to provide directional information. Plants compensate by relying more heavily on phototropism, growing toward light sources, but this creates new problems when artificial lighting systems provide illumination from multiple directions. Water behavior in microgravity creates perhaps the most immediate threat to plant survival. On Earth, gravity pulls water downward through soil, creating predictable moisture gradients that roots can follow and exploit. In space, water forms spherical droplets due to surface tension, creating unpredictable distribution patterns. These water spheres can completely surround plant roots, creating anaerobic conditions that lead to root rot, or they can form in locations completely inaccessible to plant root systems. The cellular architecture of plants undergoes dramatic changes. In microgravity environments, cell walls, which evolve to support plant structures against gravitational loading, become thinner and weaker when that loading disappears. This cellular weakening affects the plant's ability to transport nutrients and water efficiently through its vascular system. The xylem and phloem, plant tissues responsible for moving water and nutrients, function less effectively without gravity to assist in fluid movement. Root development presents unique challenges in space environments. Earth-grown roots develop specialized zones for different functions, root caps for protection and navigation, zones of elongation for growth, and zones of maturation for nutrient absorption. In microgravity, these zones develop abnormally, with root caps often becoming enlarged and misshapen. Root hairs, tiny projections that dramatically increase surface area for nutrient absorption, grow differently or may not develop at all. Photosynthesis itself faces complications in space. While the basic chemical processes remain unchanged, the physical structures that support photosynthesis undergo modifications. Chloroplasts, the cellular organelles responsible for capturing light energy, may distribute differently within cells. Without gravitational settling, this can affect the efficiency of light capture and energy conversion, potentially reducing plant growth rates and biomass production. The hormone systems that regulate plant growth become disrupted in microgravity. Auxins, hormones that control cell elongation and growth direction, rely partially on gravitational distribution patterns within plant tissues. In space, these distribution patterns change, leading to altered growth responses. Plants may exhibit excessive elongation in some areas while showing stunted growth in others, creating unbalanced and often dysfunctional plant architectures. Plant reproduction faces additional complications in space environments. Pollen distribution, which relies on gravity for settling and positioning, becomes chaotic in weightlessness. Flower development may proceed normally, but successful pollination and seed development require careful environmental control and often human intervention to ensure reproductive success. Temperature regulation becomes more complex for plants in space. On Earth, natural convection currents help distribute heat around plants, preventing dangerous temperature accumulations. In microgravity, the absence of convection can create hotspots around plant tissues, particularly near intense artificial lighting systems. This requires sophisticated environmental control systems to maintain optimal growing temperatures. The metabolic rates of space-grown plants often differ significantly from their Earth counterparts. Some studies suggest that certain cellular processes accelerate in microgravity, while others slow down. These metabolic changes can affect nutritional content, growth rates, and overall plant health, requiring careful monitoring and adjustment of growing conditions to optimize plant development for human consumption and life support systems. The challenge of growing plants in space has driven the development of revolutionary agricultural technologies that push the boundaries of engineering innovation. Traditional soil-based agriculture becomes impossible in microgravity, where soil particles would float freely and create hazardous dust clouds. Instead, Space agriculture relies on soilless cultivation methods that can function effectively in weightless environments while providing precise control over plant nutrition and growth conditions. Hydroponic systems, which grow plants in nutrient-rich water solutions, have been extensively adapted for space applications. These systems eliminate the need for soil while providing exact nutritional control. In space-based hydroponics, plant roots are secured in specialized growth media that prevent root wandering while allowing proper aeration and nutrient access. Advanced nutrient delivery systems use carefully controlled pumps and valves to ensure even distribution of water and minerals throughout the growing medium. Aeroponic systems represent an even more sophisticated approach to space agriculture. In these systems, plant roots hang in air chambers where they receive precisely timed mists of nutrient solution. This method uses significantly less water than traditional hydroponics while providing superior root aeration. The timing and composition of nutrient mists can be adjusted in real time based on plant growth stages and environmental conditions, optimizing resource utilization in the resource-constrained space environment. Lighting systems for space agriculture have evolved far beyond simple fluorescent bulbs. Modern space gardens utilize light-emitting diode arrays that can be programmed to emit specific wavelengths optimized for plant growth. Red light wavelengths around 660 nanometers promote flowering and fruiting, while blue light around 450 nanometers encourages leaf development and compact growth. These LED systems consume far less power than traditional lighting while producing minimal heat, crucial considerations for spacecraft power and thermal management. Environmental control systems maintain the precise conditions necessary for plant survival in space. These systems regulate temperature within narrow ranges, typically between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius for most crops. Humidity control prevents water accumulation that could damage sensitive electronics while maintaining optimal moisture levels for plant growth. Carbon dioxide levels are carefully monitored and adjusted, as plants require higher concentrations for optimal photosynthesis than humans prefer for breathing. Seed selection for space agriculture focuses on varieties that can adapt well to controlled environments while providing maximum nutritional return on investment. Leafy greens like lettuce and spinach have proven particularly successful due to their relatively simple growing requirements and high vitamin content. Radishes grow quickly and provide both leaves and roots for consumption. Tomatoes, while more challenging to grow, offer excellent nutritional diversity and significant psychological benefits for crew members. Automated monitoring systems continuously track plant health and growing conditions using an array of sensors. Temperature and humidity sensors provide environmental data, while specialized cameras monitor plant growth and can detect early signs of disease or stress. Some systems employ computer vision algorithms that can identify optimal harvest timing and alert crew members when plants are ready for consumption. Water recovery and recycling systems are essential components of space agriculture infrastructure. These systems capture and purify water from plant transpiration, humidity condensation, and even crew waste streams. Advanced filtration and purification technologies ensure that recycled water meets strict purity standards for both plant growth and human consumption, creating closed-loop systems that minimize resource waste. Structural engineering for space gardens must account for the unique constraints of spacecraft environments. Growing systems must be lightweight yet robust enough to withstand launch stresses and potential impacts from orbital debris. Modular designs allow for easy maintenance and reconfiguration, while compact form factors maximize growing space within limited spacecraft volumes. Automated nutrient mixing systems prepare precise fertilizer solutions based on plant species, growth stage, and environmental conditions. These systems can adjust nutrient concentrations in real time, responding to sensor data about plant health and growth rates. Some advanced systems even analyze plant tissue samples to determine optimal nutrient formulations, ensuring maximum growth efficiency while minimizing resource consumption in the challenging environment of space. The International Space Station serves as humanity's primary laboratory for space agriculture research, hosting multiple sophisticated plant growth facilities that have revolutionized our understanding of cultivation beyond Earth. The vegetable production system, known as Veggie, represents the most visible success story in space agriculture. Since its installation in 2014, Veggie has produced dozens of successful harvests, demonstrating that fresh food production in space is not only possible, but practical for long-duration missions. Veggie utilizes a specialized growth chamber approximately the size of a microwave oven, equipped with LED lighting arrays and automated watering systems. The system employs plant pillows, specialized growing containers that hold seeds, fertilizer, and growing medium in a configuration designed for microgravity environments. These pillows prevent root escape while allowing proper aeration and water distribution, solving many of the fundamental challenges of space cultivation. The advanced plant habitat, installed in 2017, represents a significant advancement in space agriculture technology. This facility provides complete environmental control, including programmable lighting, precise temperature regulation, and automated watering systems. Unlike Veggie, which requires crew interaction for plant maintenance, the advanced plant habitat can operate autonomously for extended periods, providing valuable data about plant growth without requiring significant crew time investment. Successful crops grown aboard the ISS have included multiple varieties of lettuce, radishes, tomatoes, and various Asian greens. The first space-grown lettuce was consumed by crew members in 2015, marking a historic milestone in space agriculture. Nutritional analysis of space-grown produce has revealed fascinating differences from Earth-grown counterparts. Some space-grown vegetables show higher concentrations of certain vitamins and antioxidants, possibly due to the stress responses triggered by the unusual growing environment. Radishes have proven particularly successful in space environments, with multiple experiments producing healthy edible roots within just 27 days. These quick-growing vegetables provide both nutritional value and psychological benefits for crew members. The sight of red radishes growing in space provides a powerful connection to Earth's agricultural traditions while demonstrating the potential for food self-sufficiency on long-duration missions. Tomato cultivation represents one of the most ambitious space agriculture experiments to date. Cherry tomato varieties have been successfully grown from seed to fruit aboard the ISS, requiring careful hand pollination by crew members. The successful production of tomatoes demonstrates the potential for growing more complex crops that require flowering and fruit development, opening possibilities for greater dietary diversity on future missions. Comparative studies between space-grown and Earth-grown produce have revealed important insights about plant adaptation to microgravity. Space-grown plants often show altered gene expression patterns, with some genes associated with stress response becoming more active. However, most space-grown vegetables retain their essential nutritional properties, and some actually show enhanced concentrations of beneficial compounds like flavonoids and anthocyanins. The psychological impact of space gardening has exceeded scientists' expectations. Astronauts report significant emotional benefits from tending plants, describing the activities as therapeutic and grounding. The presence of growing plants provides a connection to Earth's biosphere that crew members find profoundly meaningful during long periods of isolation in space. Challenges overcome through years of experimentation include water management issues, pest control without traditional pesticides, and harvest preservation techniques. Early experiments faced problems with fungal contamination and root rot, leading to the development of improved sterilization procedures and environmental controls. Modern space gardens maintain sterile growing conditions through careful air filtration and surface sanitization protocols. Recent experiments have focused on optimizing crop yields and reducing resource consumption. Scientists have discovered that certain light wavelength combinations can increase plant growth rates by up to 30% compared to standard growing conditions. These findings have applications not only for space agriculture, but also for improving efficiency in Earth-based controlled environment agriculture. The economic implications of successful space agriculture are substantial. Current costs for delivering Food to the ISS exceed $10,000 per kilogram, making space-grown produce extremely valuable from a logistics perspective. As space agriculture systems become more efficient and reliable, they will play an increasingly important role in reducing mission costs and enabling longer-duration exploration missions to destinations like Mars, where resupply from Earth becomes impossible due to the vast distances and extended travel times involved. The future of space agriculture extends far beyond the confines of current orbital laboratories, encompassing ambitious plans for sustainable food production on the Moon, Mars, and beyond. As humanity prepares for permanent settlements throughout the solar system, agricultural systems will evolve from experimental curiosities into essential life support infrastructure that determines the success or failure of our expansion into the cosmos. Lunar agriculture presents unique challenges that will require revolutionary approaches to plant cultivation. The Moon's surface receives intense solar radiation during its 14-day periods of sunlight, followed by equally long periods of complete darkness and extreme cold. Underground growing facilities, possibly constructed within lava tubes or specially excavated chambers, will provide protection from radiation while maintaining stable temperatures for plant growth. These facilities will likely employ artificial lighting systems powered by nuclear reactors or large solar arrays positioned at the lunar poles. Martian agriculture holds even greater promise due to the planet's more Earth-like day-night cycle and the presence of water ice in the soil. However, Martian soil contains perchlorates, toxic chemicals that must be removed or neutralized before plants can safely grow. Future Mars colonies will likely employ large pressurized greenhouses that utilize processed Martian soil combined with organic waste from the colony to create productive growing media. The lower atmospheric pressure on Mars, approximately 1% of Earth's, will require completely enclosed growing environments with carefully controlled atmospheric composition. Closed-loop life support systems represent the ultimate goal of space agriculture, where plant cultivation becomes integrated with atmospheric processing, water recycling, and waste management. In these systems, plants consume carbon dioxide, exhaled by crew members, while producing oxygen for breathing. Plant transpiration provides water that can be recaptured and purified for drinking and irrigation. Even human waste becomes valuable fertilizer after appropriate processing and sterilization. Advanced genetic modification techniques may play crucial roles in developing plants specifically adapted for space environments. Scientists are exploring crops engineered to thrive in low-gravity conditions, resist radiation damage, and produce enhanced nutritional profiles optimized for space travel dietary requirements. Some proposed modifications include plants with altered gravitropic responses that can grow normally without gravitational cues, or varieties with enhanced vitamin production to compensate for dietary limitations in space. Automation will become increasingly sophisticated in future space agriculture systems. Robotic systems will handle planting, tending, and harvesting operations with minimal human intervention, freeing crew members for other essential tasks. Artificial intelligence algorithms will monitor plant health continuously, adjusting environmental conditions in real time and predicting optimal harvest timing. These systems will need to operate reliably for years without maintenance opportunities, requiring unprecedented levels of engineering robustness. The psychological benefits of space. Gardening will become even more important during multi-year missions to Mars or permanent space settlements. Large-scale hydroponic facilities may include recreational growing areas where crew members can cultivate flowers or personally chosen crops for emotional well-being. The presence of extensive plant life will help maintain psychological health. During long periods of isolation from Earth, economic considerations will drive the development of highly efficient space agriculture systems that maximize food production while minimizing resource consumption. Future systems may achieve complete resource recycling, where every molecule of water and every atom of essential nutrients is continuously reused. The development of these ultra-efficient systems will likely benefit Earth-based agriculture as well, providing solutions for sustainable food production in resource-limited environments. Interplanetary trade in agricultural products may eventually develop, with Mars potentially becoming a food supplier for asteroid mining operations or outer planet exploration missions. The specialized crops developed for space environments might prove valuable for Earth-based cultivation in extreme environments, creating economic incentives for continued agricultural innovation. The ultimate vision for space agriculture encompasses vast agricultural installations that could support millions of people living permanently throughout the solar system. These installations might include rotating habitats with artificial gravity, allowing traditional farming techniques to be employed alongside advanced space-specific cultivation methods. Such systems would mark humanity's transition from a single-planet species dependent on Earth's biosphere to a truly spacefaring civilization capable of creating sustainable ecosystems wherever we choose to establish ourselves among the stars. Space agriculture represents more than just a solution to feeding astronauts. It embodies humanity's determination to carry life itself into the cosmos, ensuring that wherever we go, we bring with us the green heritage of our home planet.